Have you ever wondered what happens if you break a village's strange rule? In the village of Brookwood, no one dares to look between their legs at the market.
In a village called Brookwood, there was a strange rule: never bend down and look between your legs at the markets. This rule was known by everyone, from young children to the oldest people. But no one knew why. It was a mystery, and the village elders always warned against breaking it. One day, a boy named Charlie, who lived with his parents, John and Emma, decided he would not follow this rule. Charlie was their only child, and they loved him very much because they had waited many years to have him. His birth had been celebrated all over the village, and they named him Charlie, which meant gift. But as Charlie grew older, he became bold and liked to do what he was told not to do. Charlie often laughed at the rules in the village. He thought they were silly. He would say, "Nothing bad can happen just because you bend down in the markets. It's just a silly old rule." His friends, however, were afraid and never dared to question the elders. One afternoon, while they were sitting by the big tree near the river, Charlie said to his friends, "I will bend down in the market tomorrow and prove to you all that nothing will happen." His friends, Jack, Luke, and Ben, looked at him with wide eyes. "Charlie, don't do it," said Jack. "The elders warned us for a reason." But Charlie only laughed. "You'll see. I'll bend down, look through my legs, and nothing will happen. Meet me tomorrow, and I'll show you." The next day, the market was as busy as ever. People were selling fruits, clothes, and many other things. The sun was shining bright, and the air was filled with the noise of people talking and trading. Charlie walked into the market with his friends following him, their faces full of worry. In the middle of the market, Charlie stopped and said, "Watch me now." He spread his legs, bent down, and looked through the space between them. At first, everything seemed normal. The market looked the same, and people continued with their business. Charlie smiled, ready to tell his friends how foolish they had been to believe the elders. But then, something strange started to happen. The world around Charlie began to twist. The colors of the market blurred, and the lively sounds grew quiet. The people seemed to move in slow motion, as if they were walking in a dream. Charlie's smile faded, and fear crept into his heart. Before he could stand up, he saw them, dark figures moving silently around the market. These were not people. They had glowing eyes and floated just above the ground. They were spirits, creatures from another world. One of them turned towards Charlie, its eyes locking onto his. "You see us now, Charlie," the spirit whispered, its voice cold and airy. "And now, you belong to us." Charlie tried to stand up, but his legs wouldn't move. He was stuck, bent down with his eyes staring between his legs. He wanted to scream, but no sound came out. His friends, watching from a distance, realized something was very wrong. They ran as fast as they could to get help. They reached Charlie's house, yelling for his parents. "Mr. John, Mrs. Emma, something is wrong with Charlie." His parents hurried with the boys back to the market, gathering the village chief and the priest along the way. When they arrived, they found Charlie still bent over, unable to move. His body was twisted, and his face was full of terror. The chief priest, a wise old man, knelt beside Charlie, chanting softly, trying to help him. But after a while, he stood up and said, "He has seen the spirits, and they have marked him. This is not something we can easily fix." Emma, Charlie's mother, cried out in despair. She knelt beside her son, holding his stiff legs, trying to comfort him. John stood by, his face pale and full of worry. The villagers gathered around, whispering to each other, feeling sorry for Charlie even though he had been disobedient. The priest tried again to speak to the spirits, offering prayers and asking for their mercy. But the spirits were silent. No one knew what to do. The village, once lively with the sounds of the market, grew quiet as the sun began to set. Charlie's friends stood at the edge of the crowd, feeling guilty. They had wanted to see what would happen, but now they wished they had never encouraged Charlie to break the rule. As the night approached, something changed. The air in the market became still, and the spirits seemed to retreat. Charlie's body, which had been stiff and trembling, suddenly relaxed. He collapsed to the ground, unconscious, but free from the spirit's grip. Emma rushed to her son's side, holding him and crying with relief. The villagers were silent, watching as the priest whispered one last prayer. Charlie survived the ordeal, but he was never the same again. When he woke up the next day, his voice was gone, and he became weak and quiet. He had learned the hard way that some rules are there for a reason. The story of Charlie's defiance became a lesson for the whole village, a reminder that there are mysteries in life that should not be tested.